So good morning all, rise and shine. I see our colleagues are joining from different parts of the world. We have some colleagues joining, I see from Bishkek, from Morocco, from Lebanon, Somalia, Armenia, different places. Great to have you all with us. Let me say hello on behalf of all the team from Tadamon. My name is Robert Pashitko. I'm a project coordinator from UNDP side. And just to say a few words before I pass the word to our colleague Ias from ISDB, who is supporting from that side. So today we are on Tadamon Talks 001, the first one. What is Tadamon Talks? It's our monthly webinar where we want to discuss several important points on how to create your crowdfunding campaign, fundraise, how to spread the CSO ecosystem. The first one is we will be talking about visuals in crowdfunding. Visual communication is something which is very much important if we go into social media, Instagram, Facebook, and we have three incredible previous campaigns with us, Toy, IT Girls, and Miret, who well navigated the visual crowdfunding and who will be sharing their experiences. But before that, we also have our colleague, I would say art director, Bojano Pačak, who will be saying something about good, bad, and ugly in visual communication. Let me just say that, let me just draw your attention to the fact that calls for Tadamon grants is out. We have over $1 million to spend in the next few months on most innovative CSOs in Somalia, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Tunisia, Lebanon, Somalia, Indonesia, 6 countries for the start. So if you are a CSO from one of these 6 countries, we encourage you also to go into crowdfunding, because all who prove that they can also get additional funding through crowdfunding are getting an extra points. All who participated in our Tadamon crowdfunding academies and going this way will be even more welcome. But all innovative CSOs who have something to share, who have some good projects, are invited to join. Beginning of next year, we are opening new call for more countries. But also let me tell you that in 2 months, we are also opening the call for Tadamon Accelerator, where we are thinking about 50 most innovative CSOs who are somehow involved in pandemic and post-pandemic. And we want to take these 50 CSOs on board, train them, work on acceleration with our other partners. And also there is $1.5 million grants for this one. So let me pass the word to our colleague Ias Grace from Islamic Development Bank, who is the founder of the program together with Islamic Solidarity Fund for Development. So Ias, please say a few words from your end.
Thank you, Robert, for the introduction. So my name is Ias Grace, and I am the program officer for ISDB, ISFD, NGOs Empowerment for Poverty Reduction Program, Tadamon program. And I'm happy that we are here all together to share our knowledge together. And this is the best that a human being can do, is to share the knowledge and to share the experiences. We have 3 Tadamon crowdfunding campaign, as my colleague Robert mentioned, and these campaigns are a successful campaign in addition to other successful campaigns, and they would like to share the knowledge and they would like to share the experiences of the new lifestyle. As you all know that even before COVID, social media become the main tools for us to communicate more than the normal or traditional communication that we used to do before. And for that, coping with the new lifestyle will make the spirit, or will make it easy for us. And mainly we are talking about crowdfunding, which is a new to the fundraising world life. Also, I would like to echo Robert again. We have opened the call for a proposal, and it's available in our Tadamon for the pilot countries, the 6 pilot countries, and the other country. We do not forget anyone, but it will be one by one. We will open another call, inshallah, for the other countries. And I encourage you all to keep following Tadamon, because all of what we are doing you can find in Tadamon. Also, you can find that our emails there, so you can communicate, you can suggest an idea, you can also share any suggestion with us, or if you have any inquiry on this regard. This is a good platform for all of us to communicate all over the world. Each country has its unique situation, even though in crowdfunding or how they do things on the ground. And to sharing this information between each other, this is the best that we can get from such an event. We would like to meet all of you, not only visually, also and face-to-face. And this is what we are aiming for, but we don't know when, but we know how. So looking forward to hear your insights, to hear your suggestion, and to hear from the 3 campaigns that we have today, as well as again and again. Stay in touch with us as throughout Tadamon, as we are trying our best to support your campaign, as well as to build your capacity and your network. So this is from my side, and back to you, Mr. Robert.
Thanks, yes. So, Boyan, the good, the bad, and the ugly, which one of this is you, of the visual communication? The best of visual communication, ladies and gentlemen, our art director, Boyan Opachak.
I'm the ugly in this title. Yeah, this title was given to me. I thought it was a little bit arrogant, but you know, like, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't use it in my presentation. Can I share the screen? Sorry. Or we can... if it's possible. Sorry, guys. Ben is gonna enable me, right? I think. Is it? Oh, thank you, Barry, thank you. Okay. So I didn't use this title, you know, like the good, bad, the ugly, but that's really what it's about. So we have a lot of, first of all, my name is Boyan. I work, as you heard, here for UNDP and for Tadamon for some time. I've been taking care of the visuals of Tadamon, and I've been involved in some crowdfunding campaigns. And my mission here today is to show you the importance of how visuals are important for your campaign. Not so much that I'm not going to teach you how to do it. I'm not going to in this presentation, but my main goal here is to show you that this is very, very important, and that you cannot just think, yeah, we have a great campaign, you know, like we have this, like everyone's going to love our campaign and they're going to read our text. And I'm here to persuade you or dissuade you that this is not the case, and that people will not do that. So, for example, look at this slide here. What is the first thing that you see here? It's, I hope, at least that's what I thought, it's this moving, weird wrestling dude here. It's because it's moving, because it's grabbing your attention. Maybe then, or maybe if you're a dog lover, you looked at the dog also, but look at this text here. It looks so sad, and you just don't want to look at it while these 2 pictures are here. So, you know, first this, then maybe this, and then only in the end, this text. So if you have like an idea, you're definitely not going to put it just in this format. That is kind of the purpose of this presentation today. So let's see what's all the fuss about visuals. So today everyone is an expert on visuals. I always repeat this because everyone has an opinion on the visuals, and everyone is kind of, they will give you their opinion, they will share it with you. On some other things, people recognize, oh, I'm not an expert on this, so I don't want to talk about it. But on visuals, on how something looks, on aesthetics, everyone is very, very open to, you know, like judge you. So you should judge yourself 10 times harder than they do, right? So, but why are we talking about the first webinar? We're talking about visuals. It's kind of weird. Well, it's because they grab attention, and people today, they don't have so much time, or they don't have so much attention at all. The attention span is falling. I'm not going to refer to the, you know, like to the research that's done on this, but it's, you know, it's really, you know, when you read it, it's bad. But visuals help you to grab the attention, and then, you know, in 2 seconds you're losing it. You can lead this attention to another paragraph and another paragraph. So you can use visuals not only, definitely not to, you know, make it just pretty, but to get this attention. You know, people don't read. That's there's numerous studies done, and people like totally don't read. They scan for cues and information, what they want to see and where they want to see it. So like, they kind of like already know where something might be, reading only the first sentence of a paragraph. And if the information is not there, they're like, yeah, this is not for me, right? Because, you know, if you use pictures, they say it's 1,000 words, but not only that it's 1,000 words, it's also 1,000 or 10,000 words in a few milliseconds. Like, it's not like you have to go through them all, and then, you know, like no one has the time to. So that's also one reason why you should, you know, get a lot of attention, divert a lot of resources into making your visuals, really. Even if your campaign is the best and the idea is the best, it can flop if it doesn't come across, right? Also, another thing with visuals is they give you recognition across different platforms or media. So for example, if you're just putting photos of something like of a city, you're like, oh, I like my city, here's a photo of my city. But you know, like if you see this in like maybe some news magazine, then you see it on Facebook, you get it in an email. You don't get kind of like, if it's just a photograph, you don't get kind of like recognition or consistency, but you want to build consistency by creating your own, you know, style of the visuals, maybe color scheme and stuff like this. So what I want to emphasize here is that there is a difference between design and art. Art is good for itself. Art can be always just beautiful, or it can even be ugly, but it serves its purpose for itself. But design, it's like an I wrote here international language. So it's internationally, you can say what you want, and you can next slide is going to say this over. Yeah, it's going to. Visuals are there to serve your communication strategy, not to look nice, not to be beautiful. It doesn't even have to be beautiful. It has to grab attention and serve your communication strategy. So maybe your communication strategy is to get some message across, and maybe this message doesn't need to have like a beautiful picture, but just a very clear picture. So that's my stance on this. You can dissuade me later, maybe. And I can't repeat this enough. You have a few seconds to make an impression. No one's going to read your paragraph. If you don't grab their attention with like a little picture in the beginning and the video screenshot, it's just going down. And Indiegogo, some study found that, of course, campaigns with videos raise 4 times more, you know, which is totally not for me surprising, but it's good that there are these studies you can read. There's quite some studies now, crowdfunding and visuals. Maybe I found 10 or 15. We can go into them in the masterclass, which you can apply for later. You will see this. But no time to go into that very deep right now, because I have to go on. And this is about to show you that your crowdfunding campaign, as good as it is, it's still a story. And you need to tell your story. It starts somewhere, it ends somewhere, and it usually ends with a clear call to action, like support my campaign. So, you know, when we were kids and you would open a book and you would see no pictures, but throw it away. That's how I was. I don't know if you were like that, but that's how I was. And I think this stayed, you know, if you see text, no pictures, no problem. I'm not going to read it. So your story needs to be supported by your pictures. And here in this crowdfunding world, we kind of have some kind of established format of a long scroll. I can go into, okay, this is some kind of crowdfunding campaign. It's one of the random campaigns. It doesn't really matter. It's on Kickstarter. So many crowdfunding platforms follow this same structure. You have this header image here. Then you have like this is a video screenshot and that you can play the video. So there's a video, and then starts, here is some header titles, which is also an image. They chose to do this, which is also fine. It's still an image. It's not like in the text. And then starts some text. And then starts the long scroll. Just to give you an impression how long the scroll is, look at this tiny little thing here. Look how little it is. And you can scroll very much. And as you can see, this successful campaign is all about pictures. They could have been writing, oh, our blocks are the best, our blocks are the best. But no, they put a lot of pictures. So I'm not going to go through it all. It doesn't matter really. I just wanted to tell you that you have a format for your storytelling here. And this format is a long scroll. You can't do something else. Like you have the video, you have the header, you have the stuff. So your format is set. So you have some rules to play by, and that's good. Like it gives you a little bit of wiggle space within them. So as you saw here, the image to text ratio can be even 80-20. I mean, 80 pictures and only 20 text, or even 90% images and 20% text. It's counterintuitive in the first time you start to put down a campaign, I think, to think it's going to end up like this, because you start writing, writing. But as you're writing, you can replace whole paragraphs with an image, or support it, not maybe replace it always. But you can see that this ends up being almost 90% images. So this format, as established as it is, always is like the most established thing is that you have to end with a call to action. So your story kind of directs the reader into supporting your campaign, not into just like telling how great your story was. Okay, so you're starting a campaign, for example, and you have this choice. You can design, or you can hire professional designers. If you hire professional designers, they will lead you through this process. They will lead you through the brand identity. They will give you advice and stuff. But not everyone maybe has, luxury, or maybe not every campaign is in the stage that they can hire someone, and maybe you have to do it yourself. And for these people, this is more like, these people are actually, this presentation doesn't really make sense if someone already knows that they want a professional designer, they're already doing it with them, because they're already convinced that this is very important. But if you are doing it yourself, my advice to you is, if you're designing, to steal and copy, like Picasso said in that overused quote. And when I say steal and copy, this is what designers always say. It's just to get inspired. You go on Google, you go on some websites. I can share with you some like great inspiration websites like Behance, or other websites, doesn't matter, with collections of designs where you can get inspired by colors, by just a layout, or even just the way that someone, visualize some concept. So you don't have to always invent the entire, universe. You can, steal a little bit, and it's totally legitimate. I think that's how the world works, actually, just stealing and improving on it. I should not take too much of your time, of course, but see, I wrote here, see how this slide is ugly? That's because it has a lot of text, right? So what are the elements that you can use in crowdfunding? I'm just going to quickly go through them all because I'm getting talkative, so I might take too much time. So the logo and the branding, it's very important. Some people will say like, oh, you don't need a logo for your campaign. You can just like do like some images showing your whatever it is. Is it a product, or is it a service you're going to provide for like some beneficiaries? But if you use a logo and branding, like you're setting yourself a set of ground rules, like the colors, the typography that you're going to be using, and the logo, of course, that you can plaster on any picture. And immediately this just picture becomes your picture, a part of your campaign. So if you can, have a logo, I think it's a great idea to have a logo, even if it's just a simple one that follows your branding. A campaign explainer video, it's a must. As you saw, the 4 times more funded, so you're gonna make a video for sure. Even if it's a simple video, even if you're doing it yourself and it's not a great video, it could still be better than nothing, right? When you do a video, it's important to pull out a very good video screenshot, something that people used to forget, and then they would just during the launch upload the video, and the first thing you would see on the screen is like someone's foot trying to step, like as that was the beginning of something. So you take the screenshot, which is the most telling, and not the first thing, and you upload it separately. And then we have the header and the chapter images. By this, I just meant these. Let me show you. This element where you can input this image to it can be a larger image. It doesn't have to have white background, and here it just has text because this text is in an image, as you can see here. But you can use these headers to draw attention to your for your readers to know like, here is this for children, and I'm gonna scroll down. Okay, here is this for this, right? So this is what I mean by the chapter images. The perks, of course, if your perks are physical, it's going to be easy to make visuals out of them. If your perks are not physical, if it's like something like support and stuff, it's going to be a little bit harder, but you still get this an opportunity to, insert even more visuals into your crowdfunding campaign. But even if it's not a physical product that you're doing. GIFs are great because they, as you saw in my first slide of this like wrestling man, weird guy, they just attract attention, and you're just staring at this GIF and it's repeating, and it's kind of like calming. So I really love when they do this, like explain the product in like a 3-second loop. It's if you can do that, then you're visually like you did well. The call to action buttons, of course, another thing that you can use. is like to color them in a way that suits your campaign, or to just utilize also this as a visual. Some things that you don't think about as a campaign thing. Sometimes you will need a pitch book, because you will not campaign always on the internet. You might have to go somewhere and bring a PDF somewhere, or send it to someone via email. So you could make a pitch book full of your stuff, like basically in your entire campaign in a different format that leads to your campaign. You could have documents, different kinds of documents. This really depends on what the campaign is and what you're trying to achieve. But you can make a website. You can create a press kit, which is like full of stuff that you can send to the media, and they can choose which image to use. And of course, you're going to brand every of your images. You're going to put your logo on every image, so they can't choose just some image where it's, you know, just your face or something, that you would control what they're going to publish, I hope. Social media images, of course, everyone knows that you need to do them, but you need to do them consistently. It needs to be in the same color scheme. And here I wrote, don't forget the milestones and updates. Like, you can plan ahead what's going to happen. At some point, you're going to reach 1,000 supporters. And when you do, you should have an image ready for this. So you can post it on media, and you can have it it can appear on the campaign page. So don't forget to plan visuals in advance. So it's not something that you can just do in the beginning and then like, oh, I'm done. So I mean, it can be, but it's usually not like that. A product, if you have a product, it's really easy to make a picture out of it, right? You can just put it somewhere on a table, maybe not on a table as I wrote here, but like as it's being used. But if you have a service, it's a little bit harder to make an image out of it. What if you have a service that like serves people and stuff, then you can really show faces, and people love to see faces. I took a screenshot. I forgot to put it into the presentation. I'm sorry. Like, there was an app called Blinkist, which is about reading, or like, I don't know, something about reading, but their ad is just a person's face, because faces attract attention, and that's just the way it is. So if you show faces of the beneficiaries the people that are gonna be served by the project or by your team, it's gonna immediately add this human touch, and it's a visual in itself. If you have an interesting production process, for example, I assume like Miret has a great looking factory thingy. Like, so if you see this rubber being, you know, like formed, and the leather being stretched, that must be, that's something that people like to see. So if your product is like this, you can create a lot of visuals just from the production process. Another idea, of course, data visualization. If your product is this kind of product that has data, then you can totally make an infographic with it, and make that's kind of the slide where people are going to stick for a while too. Of course, photos, some before and after images. These are just some ideas. Or like, even I found people making supporters generated designs. So people would like upload designs for perks. For example, t-shirts of a coffee company that they did. Supporters were making their own designs, and then they became perks. So that's pretty cool. Also, email. You might use email for your campaign, because you are going to email your campaign to people like us. Look, at our campaign is live, and you should have like a mail template or some kind of template ready, so it's not just an email saying like, oh, click this link, because as I said 1,000 times already in this presentation, that's not going to work. Okay, so in this slide I want to show you like some things. Like, if you have a product, it's kind of like easier to take a photo of it, but if you want to show care, whoops, I didn't want to do this, sorry. If you want to show a concept like care or togetherness or poverty or inclusion, oops, I had inclusion twice, but you know, it's important to inclusion. So if you have an abstract or like some kind of social context concept, to put it into visuals is not so easy, and you run the risk of stereotyping. You can, if you Google crowdfunding, for example, you get these 5 images, 6 or whatever, in 300 different variations, and people are maybe becoming blank to this. When they see this, they already saw it and they just turn off, like their brain shuts off, right? So it's really hard to sometimes to avoid stereotypes. But for example, look at this, like with this image of people standing in a circle, you know, crowdfunding around money. Maybe you can kick out the money like I did here, and just like have people who are, you know, in a spiral, creating a community, warmth, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't have to always show money. It doesn't have to be so overtly. So you can, when you're using concepts, it's important to just escape the stereotypes as much as you can, and you know, rather go for warmth than just, you know, physical representation. Okay, some common mistakes. You know, using terrible typography is one of the most common mistakes people do. They look at the first font that doesn't look like the font that they're always using, and they're like, oh my god, I'm going to use this font, but actually it becomes like unreadable or small or big. So the problem is that you know, if you're not trained in typography, you can make a lot of mistakes. That's the problem with typography, and that's why I put it first here. You can choose wrong sizes, you can choose wrong placements, you can make something centered when it's not supposed to be centered, or justify the text so that there's giant words, holes between words. So these are some mistakes I saw. Low resolution images. It's incredible that today still people will upload a very, very low resolution image and they will be like super happy with it. Maybe because they're looking at it on their phone, maybe they're creating the campaign on their phone and it's also small. Maybe some people don't even see so well, so it looks normal for them. But a lot of campaigns go out with like pixelated or blurry images, and it really doesn't add up to the campaign authority, right? It brings down your, you know, you're cutting your own branch, the branch you're sitting on. Depressing photographs. I wrote, it's like when you have socially sensitive topics, like politically sensitive, or like when you're trying to portray that a community is living in poverty, you have you have kind of like a you have a choice and an opportunity to show them, hopefully to show hope, and not to just pity, to induce pity in the reader, right? So you should always aim for hope, and or even if it's a really depressing situation, you have to find a glimmer of hope through which we can, you know, like support and donate, and through which we can catch on to. Sometimes and the next point is like people are not using not recognizable images, so like something that could be from any campaign. It's really important that your stuff is really consistent, and when you look at your campaign, like the guys who are going to talk to you later, a toy, for example, or when you see a toy image, you're like, oh, toy, I know this. Like that's not, it doesn't always work like that. Toy is a great example how this works, when it's good. You can have a boring video. I've seen so many boring videos. People sometimes like to even see themselves. So when you're talking a lot, they think this is good and people are listening to them. They're not. They're just skipping this part maybe. And when your video is boring, you should check with other people that are not similar to you, but they're different than you, and see if it's good or not. And you can always work on it more, of course. Video is also never finished, like a website. Decorative and unnecessary visuals I wrote because you shouldn't always have to make something pretty, you know, like it's about the communication purpose. So if the communication purpose is good, then the image serves the purpose well. But if it's just to make something pretty, you can probably remove it, you know, like the rule is to, if you can remove it, maybe remove it, you know, and put something else that serves some kind of communication purpose. Your images, I've seen this many times, cropped wrong, or like not taking into account that the crowdfunding platform itself will crop something for the thumbnails. So you have to know where to, if you're putting some text or logo, you have to make sure that the logo is not half split. This happens very often. I see it on not only crowdfunding, but it's a common problem. And like here, like what I said about typography, you can get the hierarchy wrong. So you can have the headers are all wrong, and maybe like backwards or inside out, so that it's not easy to follow the idea. Maybe the idea is there, it's very well explained, but it's not you can't really like scan it and go through it very easily. And this is also done through testing. You can test with other people. Do you understand it? Can it be easier? Can we remove something? You know, that's the three things. Can we remove something? Actually, just removing stuff usually works. Or yeah, some things can be too complicated, and then removing, of course, also helps. There's not enough time for me to go through the practical advice and stuff like this. This will be covering in our masterclass, and some of the other stuff that's not included in this presentation is covered in of course, the Crowdfunding Academy that we have, the chapter on visuals and chapter on video. But in any case, you're going to hear more advice from right now from the campaigns, and then from the campaigns rather than from me. But join our masterclass. This is a like advertisement slide that I will be leading. The links are in the chat. I think Hyde and I will post it. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about how important visuals are. I hope now you see like how much time we took into this, that you will really take them seriously and make something awesome and make your campaign, as good as it is, look even better. I will give the word now to, I think, Robert again, and then we'll see what the real reason
Thanks,
why we came here.
Bojan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bojan. It's really nice to see everything in pink. I will steal this teddy bear with a heart to end my presentations with this. So as I heard about, from the team, so now the next one is Ariana, who will be presenting the IT Girls campaign. Then Domagoj presenting Miret product and campaign. And then we have Ugeday, who will be telling us about toy project, which is like one of my, all of them are one of my favorites. But yeah, let's go one by one. So Ariana, hope you are ready. Hope you can share your screen and tell us, about your campaign. What did you do? How did you use visual communication? What were the problems? What were the lessons learned?
Well, thank you so much, Robert. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present the IT Girls crowdfunding journey on this very first Tadamon Talk. If I understood well, it's the very first. So it's a huge honor for us. I will try to share my screen. And I will need just a confirmation that you can actually see it. Can you see it?
Not yet. Oh,
yes, yeah. Yes, super.
Okay, great. So before our crowdfunding journey, let me just say that IT Girls is an initiative of volunteers and young people from 3 different UN agencies, mainly UNDP, UNICEF, and UN Women. It's a product of an internal innovation challenge. And basically, it was like a winner idea on the first internal innovation challenge in the UN House in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And it was like 5 years ago. So our crowdfunding campaign was actually a product of a 2.5 years long journey in the field in Bosnia and Herzegovina, trying to encourage young girls and teenagers to enter the world of IT. So basically we had, before the campaign, we actually have a lot of inputs from the girls, what they want to see in their IT classes and what was missing in the school. This is the whole team at the time where we were preparing the crowdfunding campaign. We are now all over the world, but I know it's not important for you, but it is important for me to mention their names. So this is me, this is Alexandra, Anna, Erma, Nela, and Tanya, and Armina. So I don't know if they had a chance to tune to this call, but I would like to say briefly that we were an awesome team at the time. The team has changed so far. We are still up and running, but majority of these people are somewhere around the world. So I just want to say hi to them. When it comes to our crowdfunding journey, basically we organized a crowdfunding campaign in 2018. The main idea was to introduce new methodologies and new digital tools into the formal education in elementary schools. With that being said, we come up to an idea to basically get a funding for Arduino sets to enable girls in elementary school to basically learn something about the robotics and use the Arduino to create their robotic projects. And the campaign, as you can see it here, was quite successful. That's partially because our high enthusiasm and this urge to succeed, but also we had a huge help from Haidana and the team, and we were guided through this whole process. And that is the main reason why, besides the good idea, we had a huge help from the team. So because we are now concentrating on the visual, I will just skip to that part. So our main motive was to keep it visual. We had in the team a communication expert, I have to say this, and she was the main reason why we had an awesome storyline for the campaign. But once we went through the text, we realized that the majority of that text can be transformed to engaging videos and other communication tools or visual tools. So obviously we started with the video for the introduction of the campaign. I will not play it now, but I'm gonna pop the link in the chat after my presentation. And it was like a 2 minutes video, but it basically told the story of why we are doing this and why it is important that people actually support us in this crowdfunding journey. And the other video that we did, and it was basically the result of our correspondence with the people that we pitched the idea of the crowdfunding, because once we launched, people were very confused how they can basically support us financially. So we did a very short video on the phone, basically. One of our colleagues did it on the phone, which basically depict the whole journey, how people can basically support you financially on the platform. And it was very successful. When it comes to other visuals, as I said, we had an amazing storyline written, but we realized it's like 3-pager and nobody is gonna read to the whole 3-pager once we put it on the platform. So we divided some chunks of the text, and basically we use different elements of the visuals. For example, we introduced 3 infographics. The first one was basically why we are doing this, like what's the problem that we are trying to solve in the country. The other one was like we wanted to present the total budget and the funds raised before the campaign and funds that we are seeking from the supporter. And as you know, we always say that transparency when it comes to the budget that we are seeking for the campaign is something very, very important. And we just wanted to have this like one visual that will strike the people, and people will immediately understand how much sources we want to get from the backers. And the third infographic that we did was like, because pretty much in like 2 weeks of the campaign, we managed to reach our first goal. Then we moved to the stretch goal, but we want to explain people in like very simple visual that we are on our first goal, but we want more because we know that we can ensure much more tools and Arduinos and 6 more workshops for the girls in 10 elementary schools. The other part that we use as part of our storyline were testimonials. As I said, this crowdfunding campaign was basically like a product of our research on the field, working with these girls in several places across the country, like more than 10 locations. And we met these young girls, and when you talk with them, you get the chance to basically see what's the problem. And the problem is very boring IT curricula in formal education. And we wanted to change that. But we also wanted to present them and their opinions about the IT curricula. And basically we created this like a short text, their testimonial and picture, and that was really successful for us. The other tools that we use, okay, so we spent a lot of time designing our perks, and I like coming from this time dimension, like 3 years after, I would have to say that this was money and time well spent. We work with 2 graphic designers. The first graphic designers that we were engaged with, it was not functioning well. So don't be afraid if you really feel that something is off and that you and your graphic designer are not reaching the same language, or you do not share the same vision of your visuals, it's perfectly fine that you ask for another help if you need it. In our team, we needed a professional graphic designer. And then because we also knew how to use some other graphic design visual tools such as Canva, etc., basically later on we use a majority of the designs and visuals to create something else or some sort of like social post, etc., from like our own experience. But coming back to the perks, the second graphic designer, we really shared the same vision and same ideas, and the flow of the work was very easy, and we came up with the awesome designs for our perks. And even today, people are asking us about the t-shirts, about the stickers. The stickers were like the most popular, and once we like we were talking constantly with the people. I also have to point that out. Like once we have a visual, we will go back to our friends, to our families, to our extended members of the families. It's important to talk to people of different age range. And we simply said, what do you think about this visual? What do you think about this part of the storyline? Do you like it? What do you like it? What do you don't like it? How would you change it? Is it communicating well with you? So all of those feedbacks, we would then like go back to the drawing board and try to instill in every visual or every part of the text line that we are placing on the crowdfunding campaign. So as I said, the perks were very, very successful. And even today, like people are constantly asking us for more of those. As you can see, we had plenty of different items such as t-shirts, USBs, stickers, badges, even some desktop visuals, etc. But we also, thanks to Haidana, reach out to local producers of soaps or chocolates, etc. And we were basically collaborating with them. One special perk I would have to say, and it was made purely on volunteering like of our supporters, was this rubber badge. Basically one of our IT Supergirl, she's like a very famous robotic engineer. She came up to us and said, look, I'm gonna try to make a badge with the Arduino, so you can also use that as one of your perks. So it was really nice gesture of our partners. And the last I want to point out is that we also invest a lot of time in our social media. I just popped these 3 examples here, so you can see that we used also vectors and our like logos, etc. But we also wanted to use the real photos of the girls from our previous workshops, so people can basically relate that this is our target audience, and if they want to support us, they will basically support the young girls entering the awesome world of tech in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And the third like part of the visuals that we use were our perks, because of the visual identity that we found it very engaging and interesting. And we have a massive campaign on the social media, not just Facebook, but also Instagram. I'm sorry that at the time TikTok was not very famous in our country, so nobody actually used the TikTok, so we didn't have a chance to basically put anything on the TikTok. And yeah, that's about it from my side. I would just like to once again say that visuals are very, very important. You want to grasp people in that 3 to 5 seconds once they enter your crowdfunding page. You want to get them lured in. If they like the visual, they will probably read the text. But we were relying heavily on the visuals, and also during the preparation of those visuals, no matter what you do, video or I don't know, Facebook post or some vector signs, you need to communicate with the people of different age range just to see the reactions. So yeah, I hope I managed to squeeze this in time.
Yeah, it was really interesting. That's it, girls.ba. Thanks, Ariana. Big thanks. It was really interesting presentation. I like how you choose your color and then you stick to it. But now we have with us Domagoj from Miret, who is choosing all the time new colors. I can say I'm proud owner of two pair of shoes with two different colors from Miret. Like he's keeping to put out new ones, and we all tempted to take more shoes, which is not environmentally sustainable. But
Yes, exactly.
so Domagoj, yes, please take over and tell us. I see you have a wonderful setup. You are in Split, or
I'm in Split at the Riva at a
yes.
conference, but I took time to do this because I think this is an amazing amazing thing that you're doing. So first of all, can you enable me screen sharing?
You are already.
Yeah, now
Yes, yes,
now
yes.
it is. Now it's
Yeah,
here. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'm
Everything's
gonna full
fine.
screen. Yeah, so basically both of the presentations were really great, but I have to say Boyan really nailed it with his presentation, and I recommend everyone take his class because he really covered it amazingly. I will just try to use our Kickstarter page to just maybe re-emphasize things on a real case that he was talking about. So our project is Miret ecological sneakers, the most ecological sneakers in the world, and we launched basically to confirm our product market fit. That was our primary goal, and also to position ourselves as a sexy, sustainable brand. Sustainable fashion is often considered like boring, dull, or not colorful, and we are making a combination of an extremely ecological product, but making it sexy, making it fashionable. So I'm not a communication expert, and we had a really big team. Haydana was one of our really important advisors on the crowdfunding journey. We had a communications expert, and also my brother is an industrial / graphic designer, so he had a lot of input into this. So we wanted to tell our story through visuals and through video. So I have to say that we spent most of our budget for the campaign on actually creating those, because I have to understand that a Kickstarter campaign is not something that lasts for 30 days. It goes on. It's basically on online forever. So no matter how old your brand and how successful you will be, the Kickstarter campaign is going to be one of the top 3 Google searches forever, no matter what you do, which is a great thing if you do a good campaign and good visuals. So we did a campaign that as Boyan said, put the product in a real life situation, in a real life environment, and we chose nature because this is definitely something that's really important to the brand. We took a lot of emphasis on storytelling through the video, took a lot of time doing the script and doing the video, and we talked, my brother and I, we are the co-founders, we talked through the video. And one amazing statistic is that in the first 3 days, 93% of people who started watching the video went through the whole 3-minute video. And through that story and through those visuals, they could see and understand 99% of the story that we wanted to convey. So the video is extremely important, and the coherence of the visuals is extremely important. All the visuals that we used in our Kickstarter campaign were coherently also done on Instagram, Facebook, in our email campaign, which is really important. The email campaign is vital for it. Also in editorials for magazines, for like a press kit for other media outlets to actually cover it. Because if it's colorful, if it's nicely done, if it's happy, if the emotions are nice, then also media is going to be more eager to actually cover you and give you free advertising space and exposure. And I think that's really important. Your Kickstarter page is important, but you need to bring people to your Kickstarter page, and you do that in the very similar way through visuals and the story. Using GIFs again, I wanted to immediately show people that there is not just one color, one style, that there's a lot of things going on. Showing the product, showing the problem, showing a fashion visuals and the product being used in real life. Explaining what the product is made of, also through natural looking visuals. Explaining the product itself technically. It's really important for people who are really wanna know the details, and a lot of people are technical, especially on Kickstarter, because Kickstarter crowd is really a geeky, techie, so they really want to know what's in a product. So you basically also we supported all the features and all the points on our product with short videos. Here we wanted to show the flexibility of the outsole, the comfort of the product, the removability of the outsole. So all the features were basically reinforced and shown visually. As you say, nobody reads the text. I don't even read the texts. So you need to, as you can see now, maybe like 80% of our page is videos and visuals. The long scroll. So in the end, we went into the colors, into the types of materials. It goes on and on and on. What Boyan also said is that you need to steal. So find good campaigns, find how these are like testimonials, also in a visual way. You need to find campaigns that are similar to your cause, that have been successful, and basically realize that they did something good, and then you at least copy their storytelling flow. It's really important also to know when in the flow you show which information, what's the hook for somebody. So it's the same with rewards. You do it as visual as possible, and you offer people as much as information to make it an easy decision for them. Also, crowdfunding campaigns are all about one thing and one thing only. The bottom line is trust. You need to show people that you will deliver, or you have the capability to deliver on what you promised, and making the product look as real as possible, especially if you have an MVP, or showing that it's real and really existing, and that it's close to realization, is really important. Also connecting with the people who are behind the campaign. So we always emphasized our own personal story that led us to this project. As you can see, it's a hugely long scroll, and visuals really make up for more than 90% of the campaign. Also, your Kickstarter campaign and all other social media and communication channels that you use are definitely a living tissue. So you have a plan of execution before the campaign, but as the campaign unfolds, you need to adjust your plan. For us, the adjustment was that the global pandemic hit on the 9th day of our campaign, so we had to like really tone down our communication with having all the global panic that was really going on in mind. In the end, our visual communication led to us achieving our goal in under 2 hours, and actually raising $70,000. And I have to say that it relies definitely heavy on visuals. So if you wanna like compare Boyan's presentations with our page, you'll probably see all of those elements that were outlined in his presentation on our page. Thanks.
Super. Thank you, Domagoj. So I also invite everybody to check your campaign and draw some lessons, and also maybe somebody also orders some of the Miret shoes, and maybe we have some Tadamon Miret in the future as well, as a
would be
special
cool.
prize for the best webinars or something like this.
Contact me and we'll figure something out for sure, man.
Yes. Okay. Let's do this. So thanks again, and we have now Toy with us. Ogedai, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dan, can I get the co-host for the screen share?
I think I give you. Please check it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. It is
Hi,
okay.
everyone. Hi, everyone. Like, thank you for all the amazing insights and like a presentation. I took some notes too. So I will be also mentioning the importance of the campaign page. The Toy campaign is about Toy is a creative play kit that transform everyday objects into toys to play with. So in terms of visual, it is really easy to express what is it, what is the product, and what does it do. So it's a bit unfortunate for us, but it's also a one-for-one campaign, which means that for each backer, for each toy kit bought, we will be donating the exact toy play kit into disadvantaged communities. So we have two messages in that campaign. One is that we have a really cool product, and other that you will be doing really impact by backing this. So we had two videos. One of them is, since this is a new product and probably most people will need some explanation on understanding, we had one stop motion video. It's really a simple and express how the product work and how to do it. And other one is that this is the long one, and as general Kickstarter campaigns, it's the the story and why we are doing this, what is the campaign is all about. And as an insight, I would like to share that this is 3.40 seconds, and this is around 40 seconds. And once the campaign is running for 15 days, we noticed that the watch rates are decreasing in the long video. So we wanted to change, we want to put this video in the first, because we want to let people understand our product. And all of the campaigns, we wanted to use the feature section a bit higher, because it's really important for people to see that you are getting covered. Why is important? Because as Domagoj said, you have to build some trust. You have to say people that we are doing this, and we are getting recognized by some important places. And also since it's two messages in there, we want to be really clear about how we will be doing the donation part. So we use this gift to explain, we will be sending 1,000 kits, and it will be these locations. And we also shared the list really clear. And in terms of the product, we want to be really clear about what is the product in terms of pieces, and what is the difference between the rewards, because people be paying for more or paying for less, but it's really important for people to understand what it is, what's the difference of the other perks. So that was the thinking of us. And then how to play. We want to since it's a new product and it's needs a bit of a explanation, we wanted to show people how can be used in different scenarios. And everybody said, the lifestyle images is really important, because it's a new product and we are seeing it for the first time. So it's maybe a bit for us to imagine how can be used. So it's really important for people to see in the in lifestyle images. And for we built hierarchy is it will be start simple and it will be go deeper in terms of information. So I mean, after that you will be seeing the technical details and why is it important more. And our story is also backed with visuals. It's like most people just run for the pictures as well. And then the team, like expressing the team in like this setup is really important, because in terms of like two things, the first one is people want to see who, like which team is doing that. So it's why it's important. And also we wanted to share really clearly the like project timeline. It was especially hard on operations for us, because we promised like a Christmas delivery for a campaign that ends around November. So we want to be really clear when we'll be getting the rewards and like when the campaign will be ending. But other things that I like to mention, you have like, I'm assuming that at this point with like all of these great insights, we have a really good page, but the really important thing is that people has to see this page. So you have to bring people to your page. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a good or bad one if no one's coming. So I'd like to like mention this a bit. When we are creating the visuals, we like for all of the campaign, we had a really like professional communications person. So it's really important, because the campaigning is a lot different than creating a product or creating the visuals. The campaign is a lot different. So having like some mentor, someone in the team, or at least like advisors, or like taking someone from the Tadamon community might be really crucial for the campaign. When we are creating the visuals, we wanted to aim for like a different backer target audiences. We thought that we will be having backed by like a designer community, social enterprise community, and the toy industry community. So we created visuals in that way. And the first circle of this starts with your own community, your own like a first circle community. We asked for people to like please share our campaign, and like we will be having like like campaign ambassadors, and you will be like sharing the message. And it's really important, because I mean, for example, if you reach 10 people in our first circle, these 10 people also reach like other 10 people. So that's how organically grow the campaign. And using the social media in terms of like, yeah, I just backed to you, check out this campaign kind of social media interaction is really important. The reason I said. And other things that the press, I mean, because since we are trying to reach other communities and other places, the press is really important aspect on this, and it needs a bit of a prep, because I mean the press is usually probably loaded by lots of news campaigns or stories. So you have to make things easier for like each of them, for your own community and for the press as well. So like this is the like the really impact of the having a professional in the team, because we had really clear content like photos, press release, video. So it's really easy for people to share our content. And we had both lifestyle images, product images, so people just like people could use, I mean, whichever they want to use. And also having like this kind of press release is really helps. It's really important for like distributing the content, because you will be probably sending like tons of mails in a day. So having this like really ready to share content is will be important. So, and that was like exactly what we were aiming for. We want to be featured in the like design communities and impact communities and like other channels. So like I believe it's like having the like really ready to share visuals played a huge role on this. And also like planning the how we will be distributing this content is much more like time consuming. And so please, I mean, if you're like building content, creating content, the distribution part is also like another 60% of the whole process. And thank you. That will be all of my contribution.
Thanks a lot, man. Really nice to see Toy again. I have few kids at my home, so I just reminded of this, so I'll be playing this today with my kids. Thanks for reminding this on Toy and how great you did your campaign. So guys, feel free to put your question also if you have something else. Also in chat, feel free to tell us which topic would you like to see in some of the next Tadamon Talks. I can tell you that in 2 to 3 weeks, we will have another call of Tadamon Talks with a specific focus on Tadamon grants, how to apply, what it is for. If you are a civil society organization, what is the best way to get on this? So this is where we would also like to hear from you, like how to structure grants better in the future and how to connect it so that it's not just so that it actually goes into the right hands and that it's also puts in favor the most innovative CSOs, also dealing with alternative finance, dealing with different types of community engagement, and so on. It was really a pleasure to have you all with us. One more reminder, so masterclass is October 7th. You can still apply on tadamon.community. Master Bojan will be waiting for 15 participants. Maybe if you are so eager, maybe he takes 1 or 2 more. I will also be looking forward to learn more from him on this. Anybody else from the panelists would like to add something else? See, Domago is enjoying his split sun in Dalmatia.
Yeah. But I would just like to say one thing. Crowdfunding really has its own set of rules. You don't need to reinvent anything. You just need to like investigate what worked for other people, but use master classes such as Bojan's, use online resources, and you really cannot go wrong. But what's really important is to tick all the boxes. If there's something missing, it will be missing. So don't skip anything. Really go through your campaign thoroughly. Prepare for for as long as possible before it, and grow a community before you launch. This was one of the first things that Robert told me, because he was the first person ever that I talked to about crowdfunding, and this was the most important lesson. So build a community before the Kickstarter, and your Kickstarter or crowdfunding community will be the one who's going to support you for years to come. So cherish the community.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Bojan. So yes, Birgit, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I would like to also like add something, because we didn't know like once we are running the campaign, we didn't know it will be turned out like this. But having the crowdfunding, especially on like a Kickstarter, is really help on the long term too, because we are basically like shouting your brand, your story, and your mission to all of the world. And even after the campaign, like someone from the toy industry or someone from the press like came to Toy because of the like a campaign page. So that has really has long-term effects too, in terms of like we are working with toy distributors, for example, and like even after the campaign we have met with like lots of like great people in the industry, just like thanks to Kickstarter. So please like think that, like it will be much long-term effects like just behind like the backers and like the funding, totally like funding creating during the campaign.
Thanks a lot. I also see the comment of making a French translation in the future. We will do this. We will explore like maybe French, to see maybe Arabic as well, about what is where there is a need. This was the first webinar, the first Tadamon Talks. Huge thank to our panelists and our team behind, and especially Haidana, who organized it all, who kind of is the gray brain behind all of this. So thank you, Haidana, thank you all. And yes, so talk soon about the Tadamon grants and how can we help you. Feel free to contact us on Facebook, on Instagram, on email, on anything, whatever suggestions you have, ideas, how can we help you better, please write. This is why we are here. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.